Hello everybody. My name is Murky, that's with an E, not a U. So, I wasn't going to talk about this school shooting, but I feel like I should because I see a lot of things that I've seen in the past happen with school shootings or with mass shootings, whichever one it is. Is a lot of inconsistency and a lot of fake things happening and a lot of like narratives. People want you to believe a certain thing. So I want you guys to see it from different perspectives and choose for yourself what you think is real or fake and what the possibilities could be in this whole thing. I wasn't going to do this, um, but something else just came out and I want to. It's just a lot. And it's not a laughing matter. I do believe that kids died. I do think something went down, but there's a huge agenda going on. And it's very easy to see. You do a little bit of research. I mean, I've been up for a while. That's why my eyes are going to be a little bit weird. But I've been up and trying to get things correct in order to make this video as under the most understanding video that is out there about this kind of stuff because this is going to keep happening. This isn't stopping. This is going to keep going. It's not going to get better. Unfortunately, this Earth is not that peaceful Earth that people want it to be. So I'm going to start with I'm going to play this one first. These are the kids who died.
Xavier Javier Lopez was 10.
Xavier Javier
He loved to
Lopez.
dance. He also enjoyed skateboarding, and his favorite subject in school was art. Amory Jo Garza had just made the honor roll.
Remember this girl.
Garza had
Remember Amory Jo Garza. This is one of the kids who died 2 days ago in that school shooting. And the story is consistent with what she was trying to do.
just made the honor roll. She made her father very proud. Eliana Cruz Torres enjoyed baseball. Here she is ready to hit a home run. Tess Marie Mata was also 10. She really liked milkshakes. Here she is dancing up a storm to Bruno Mars. Lexi Rubio was described as a bright light to everyone who knew her. Jose Flores was a big baseball fan. He loved school. Rod was 10 years old. She loved gymnastics class. Rigilio Torres called himself a difference maker at school.
So it's a consistent thing. They're trying to tell you what the kid's name is, what they loved to do, and how innocent they were. This came out yesterday. Today's the 26th. So this came out yesterday. Well, it probably won't tell me exact time, but they had all this information and everything down packed and ready to go for the news, every single news station out there, ready for us to see these kids and in their most vulnerable sense, in their most innocent way.
School. He was 10. Annabelle Guadalupe Rodriguez was also. Yese Carmelo Levanos was also killed. Layla ready to watch a
Okay,
basketball game at school. Her cousin Yese Carmelo Levanos was also.
so remember this kid too. There's a couple of them that you're gonna have to really fix your eyes on. So that first girl, and sorry, this is my first time doing the whole live thing or video
She
thing,
made her
but
father
Amory,
very proud. Eliana
Amory Jo Garza. Okay, so she is right here.
Of your daughter. She had just won an honor roll.
Yeah, yeah.
This is his daughter.
What do you want people to know about her?
What do you want? What do you want people to know about Amory Jo Garza? As you can see right there, his daughter, A and B honor roll student.
She was just trying to do the right thing. She was just trying to call the cops.
She was just trying to call the cops.
She was so scared of just strangers and things like this. Like, she would lock the door when I would.
I'm not gonna say I have the best eyes in the world, right? I can tell that people are probably sweating. It's really hot in Texas right now, like super hot, especially South Texas. I can tell people are sweating. I just want to know if I'm the only one who doesn't see an actual tear. And it might be bad, it might be wrong of me to assume that he's not actually crying. And sorry if I offend anybody. But tell me if you see an actual tear
About to put gas in
from this 10-year-old girl's father who just lost his daughter, his 10-year-old daughter.
the car. Like, this is literally like her worst fear. And she was just trying to help everyone.
She talked about of something like this.
So I'm a med aide. So when I arrived on the scene, they still had kids inside. They started bringing the kids out, and I was aiding assistance. One little girl was just covered in blood, head to toe. Like, I thought she was injured. I asked her what was wrong, and she said she's okay. She was hysterical, saying that they shot her best friend, that they killed her best friend, and she's not breathing, and that she was trying to call the cops. And I asked the little girl the name, and she told me, she said Amory.
That's how you learn.
Watch the background. You see these guys?
She was so sweet.
One,
Mr. Cooper.
two.
She was the sweetest little girl who did nothing wrong. She listened to her mom and dad. She always brushed her teeth. She was creative. She made things for us. She never got in trouble in school. Like, I just want to know what she did to be a victim.
And she loved being a big sister. You have a 3-year-old son named Zane.
We have a 3-year-old son named Zane who asks for his sister every morning when he wakes up. Just,
He doesn't know at this point, I assume.
we've informed him that his sister is now with the God.
With the God. With God. Some God.
And that she will no longer be with us. And of course, he just cried. I mean, he's 3 years old, and it's still just emotional for him to even process.
Okay. That's Amory Jo Garza's dad. She's in a picture with him. It's the first picture that came out of her, and it's her sitting on a man's lap. This man is that man, her dad. She's sitting on his lap, and I know that it's him because of the tattoo. Now,
turned 18 just 9 days ago. During the shooting, look at this image.
look at this image.
Hey, we're right here, okay?
So we just saw Amory Jo Garza's dad. We just saw Amory Jo Garza's dad crying and very sad about his daughter who just died.
Hey, it's okay. We're right here.
For so many others here, the reunions never came. Tonight, these are the young lives.
These are official news sites, right? ABC. These aren't just noobs at the game. These are people who know how to
Stolen here in Uvalde. Amory Jo Garza had just turned 10.
Hey, that's the same Amory.
And look at this image. holding an award for the honor roll. That award had just been given to her hours before the shooting. Her family says she tried to call 911 during the shooting. And tonight, her father, Alfred Garza.
What would you want people to know about your daughter?
That, she was the best person that I know. Full of life, gone too soon, always smiling, very productive. She was her own self. She was her own person. She was a leader. She didn't try to be like anybody. She wanted to do things the way she wanted to do them. And that's what I admired most about my daughter. She was not a follower, she was a leader.
He shows me the video of them fishing together. He now cherishes.
Do you know what you're doing? Do you know what you're doing?
No.
Overnight here, Adolfo Cruz, a grandfather waiting for word on his granddaughter, Eliana
Wait.
Cruz Torres.
I just took
Her own person. She was a leader. She was the best person that I know.
Her family says
She was the best person that I know. His daughter, he called her A. Marie Jo Garza his daughter. He said she was the best person I've ever known. And he's talking as if he didn't just...
she tried to call 911 during the shooting. And tonight, her father, Alfred Garza.
What would you want?
Her father, A. Marie Jo Garza's father, Alfred Garza. This guy right here. ABC News.
People to know about your daughter?
That, she was the best person that I know.
He had to get ready to answer that.
Full of life, gone too soon, always smiling, very productive. She was her own self. She was her own person. She was a leader. She didn't try to be like anybody. She wanted to do things the way she wanted to do them. And that's what I admired most about my daughter.
That's what I admired most about my daughter. Okay, no denying it. Maybe one is a stepdad. Maybe this is A. Marie's... oh, wait, no, but he has the same last name. So this must be the real dad. What was the other guy's name? This must be the stepdad.
Your daughter, she had just won an honor roll.
Yeah.
What do you want people to know about her?
That's A. Marie. That's beautiful little A. Marie. That's the same exact.
She was just trying to do the right thing. She was just trying to call the cops.
She was just trying to call the cops. Sounds like what the other guy said. I don't even know if that's his actual name.
She was so scared of just strangers and things like this. Like, she would lock the door when I would step out to put gas in the car. Like,
Angel Garza, father of shooting victim A. Marie Jo Garza. Two dads.
This is literally... She just turned 10. Her birthday was on the 10th. May the 10th, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. You had a party for it.
We had trying to call the authorities. And I guess he just shot her. How do you look at this girl?
Listen to what he says.
I just want to ask everybody to just keep my wife in their prayers. She's just beating herself up. I just want you to be happy.
Is there anything else you want people to know about Emer?
I just want people to know that she just died trying to save her classmates. She just wanted to save everyone.
She wanted to save everyone. I think you forgot the part about being a leader and not a follower. But there's this common script that is given. I'll stop though. I'll give you guys the rest of it. A. Marie Jo Garza.
Made her father very proud.
A picture with her dad.
Eliana Cruz Torres.
Eliana Cruz Torres. Eliana Cruz Torres. New. This was at 6:25 p.m. May 24th. This was only 7 hours before, depending on what time region this person is even in. 6:25 p.m. So anywhere from 4 hours to 7 hours after the shooting literally just happened, this person from Fox News, Bill Milligan, he already has the info. Knew this is 10-year-old Elijah. I don't think he even, I think he was probably given something to write. Elijah Cruz Torres, a fourth grader at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas. Her grandfather tells me she is missing and they are worried sick. She didn't want to go to school today, but they told her she has to. He is waiting for any news on her. She didn't want to go to school today, but they told her she has to. Elijah Cruz Torres. Eliana Cruz Torres is her actual name, right? So the news station probably made a mistake. They just make mistakes all the time, right? That's how it is. News stations, they don't know what they're saying, and if they make a mistake, the least they could do is say, "Wow, wait, that last broadcast that we just gave you guys is completely wrong. This is what actually happened." So
Enjoyed baseball. Here she is ready to hit a home run.
here she is ready to hit
Tess
one picture. Now, don't forget, after 4 to 7 hours, this guy already had it out. He talked to her grandfather. He figured out her name because in order to get this picture, unless my wife said the grandfather probably sent this guy the picture of her because she was missing. But so the grandfather sends him the picture of her, maybe. He comes out with all of this, understands who the person is, posts a picture about the person, and says her grandfather tells me she is missing and they are worried sick. She didn't want to go to school today, but they told her she has to. She didn't want to go to school today, but they told her she has to. She didn't want to go to school today, right? So she didn't want to go to school today.
10-year-old Jace Carmelo Luvanos, who didn't want to go to school on Tuesday.
Oh, he didn't want to go to school today or on Tuesday, which is when it happened.
Who didn't want to go to school on Tuesday.
He didn't want to go to school either. So all these kids had this general feeling of, I don't really want to go to school today. I don't feel like going to school today.
Love TikTok dance videos. 10-year-old Jace Carmelo Luvanos, who didn't want to go to school on Tuesday.
He didn't want to go to school on Tuesday. They know that because, well, they've obviously talked to the parents. The parents said, my child is dead, but let me tell you, he told me he didn't want to go to school today. Can you believe that? He didn't want to go to school. He just died a couple hours ago, but just to let you know, he told me he didn't want to go to school today. Eliana also told her grandfather that she didn't want to go to school today. Or Tuesday. I'm saying today, but it's actually Tuesday. But they told her that she still had to. So maybe that's a coincidence. Maybe they both just didn't feel like going to school. They just, and maybe he just got this wrong. He put Elijah, even though it was supposed to be I guess it's a mistake that can happen. So
Marie Mata was also 10. She really liked milkshakes. Here she is dancing up a storm to Bruno Mars.
there's a lot of different things right now. And I can go through all of them and I'll be here all day bothering you guys. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give you guys what was given to me literally 11 years ago. It was just pure information, and you can do whatever you want to do with it. You can take it, analyze it, think about it, and see what you're seeing it right in front of you. I'm not. I didn't. I'm not smart enough to Photoshop. I'm not smart enough to video shop. I'm barely smart enough to shop. So you guys can take this information and do whatever you want with it. Do nothing. Think nothing is actually out there doing things that they shouldn't be doing, or just just do whatever you'd like. Sandy Hook. I'm sure you guys remember Sandy Hook. The Sandy Hook shooting was 10 years ago, almost to the date, 10 years ago, and a bunch of other little kids died. I'm not saying that kids didn't die. I'm not saying that little kids didn't die, but Sandy Hook happened. A lot of little kids died, and then we had, little interviews here and there, making people. I'm gonna tell you guys something about interviews that I've learned because I've researched for the past 10 years of my life these types of things: where to catch frauds, where to catch fakes, where to catch things that are just not not lining up. And to be honest, now they give it to us and they don't even care. They say put it all out there, throw it all out, and even if they figure it out, what's gonna happen? What are they gonna do? It doesn't even matter. Just put it all out there and let people try and figure out why are these things clashing, and why is everybody so contradicting. Everything is so contradicting. Look at this woman talking about how she saved a bunch of her little kids in the classroom.
I put one of my students on top of the toilet dispenser. I just knew we had to get in there, and I was just telling them it's going to be okay. You're going to be all right. I had pulled a bookshelf before I closed the door in front of it. So it was we were completely barricaded in. I turned the lights off.
Did you tell them to be quiet? Did you worry about one of them?
No, I told them to be quiet. I told them we had to be absolutely quiet. Because I was just so afraid that if he did come in and then he would hear us and then he would maybe just start shooting the door. So I said, no, we just have to be absolutely quiet. And I said, there are bad guys out there now. We need to wait for the good guys. They're coming again. I wanted us to be okay.
Every time that they cut to just the back of a little child and the back of a regular woman, every time that they cut to signs and other people, it's because what they caught on camera was so unbelievable that they know a lot of other people wouldn't believe it. So let's start from here. As soon as she starts,
I just knew we had to get in there, and I was just telling them it's going to be okay.
They switch it. As soon as she starts making any kind of emotions, when you see people doing this the whole time and messing around and looking to the left every single time, they're not saying the truth. I'm not calling her a liar, but I'm not calling her a truther.
You're going to be all right. I had pulled a bookshelf before I closed the door in front of it. They're coming again.
Switch the camera.
And I'm so saddened that there are people who in this situation are not okay. And my heart goes out to anyone who knew them and was a part of their lives. I just can't imagine.
Did they cry?
No, if they started crying, I would take their face and say,
"Did they cry?" And instantly, her sadness goes away. Oh no! If they started crying, no.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Did they cry?
No, if they started crying, I would take their face and say, it's gonna be okay. Show me your smile. I really tried to and one of my students was, would say things like, I know karate, so it's okay. I'll lead the way out.
They really said to you, we want to go home for Christmas.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Or I just want to hug my mom, or just, things like that were just, It's heartbreaking, you know? And like in my mind, I mean, because you're hearing, I've never been a part of something obviously anywhere near this traumatic. And so
Never been a part. I've never been a part of something like this dramatic.
I'm hearing the gunfire in the hallway, and I'm thinking in my mind, I'm the first classroom. Why isn't he coming? You know, I'm thinking we're next, and you know, and in my mind, I'm thinking, you know, as a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, what are you?
When you say the same thing, not even just the same word, the same phrase 3 or 4 times right next to each other, it's because you're thinking of something to say. So maybe she is nervous. Maybe she's super nervous and she doesn't know what to say. And so she's thinking and thinking and thinking. While she's thinking, she's saying the same things over and over and over and over. Maybe.
Hearing the gunfire in the hallway, and I'm thinking in my mind, I'm the first classroom. Why isn't he coming? You know, I'm thinking we're next, and you know, and in my mind, I'm thinking, you know, as
I'm thinking in my mind, and in my mind, I'm thinking, and I'm thinking in my mind. That's a phrase that you hear when somebody's trying to divert or like make you think blank for a second while they figure out what they're trying to say. Listen to it again.
I've never been a part.
Listen to it again. She's trying to remember what, I don't want to say it, but she's trying to remember what she's supposed to say it.
Of something obviously anywhere near this traumatic. And so I'm hearing the gunfire in the hallway, and I'm thinking in my mind, I'm the first classroom. Why isn't he coming? You know, I'm thinking we're next, and you know, and in my mind, I'm thinking, you know, as a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, what are your thoughts? What are your, you know, and I'm thinking that I have to almost be their parent. Like I have
4 times. I didn't even count the last one. She's thinking as a child, and then what the child is thinking.
have to tell them, you know, so I said to them, I said, I need you to know that I love you all very much and that it's going to be okay, because I thought that was the last thing they were ever going to hear. I thought we were all going to die. You know, and I don't know if that's okay, you know, teachers and, you know, but I wanted them to know someone loved them, and I wanted that to be one of the last things they heard. Not the gun.
What is she wiping?
Fire in the hallway. It's just so horrible. Horrible.
How did you know you were going to be okay? What happened?
I didn't. What finally happened was the gunfire stopped. The gunfire wasn't that long, so that stopped. But I said, no, we're not going anywhere. We're staying here until someone good comes in. Gets us out. So eventually, what happened was.
I'm even embarrassed that. Because it's a pyramid. The higher ups send what the agenda is. Then these people send what they should do to get that agenda straight. Then they get more people or puppets to do their bidding. And so it goes up to the stairs. I'm embarrassed for the people up here, all the way to the top, watching this. They must be like, they couldn't get anybody better. They couldn't get someone who's actually like convincing. I saw this when it happened. I saw this thing and instantly I didn't even feel bad as a kid, because I was only 14, 15 years old when this happened. So me as a little kid probably watching this, I'm probably like, wow, yeah, that is kind of sad. No, I remember being like, this is weird. What is wrong with this person? Was she even really there? I remember thinking all this stuff while I was a little kid, and now with everything that I actually know, it's unbelievable that they even try and do this to people. And people believe it. People believe it. You go in the comment section, and most of these people are bots in these comments. Where is this? Comments are somewhere, but most of these people are bots, and they just put what they want you to feel. So they'll say, wow, you're so brave, woman. Wow, you're a hero. Wow, you're so good. Wow, you saved all those kids, and you did everything you could, and good job. You'll see that comments from the first one all the way to the last, and then the real ones come out where they're like, wait, why does she look like that? And blah blah blah. That's another one. That's Sandy Hooks. This is the only one. If you guys want, you guys can look these things up yourself. It's still up wherever you can look for a video, because they don't care. They really don't care anymore. They just put everything out, leave it out there for people to digest it and divide. See, so I'm not trying to divide people. I'm not trying to say, oh, if you believe her, you're this kind of person, and wow, you can't be believing this person. I'm a conspiracy theorist, and I'm also not saying, wow, she is telling the truth, and we need to have gun control, and we need to consider these kinds of people who survive these things and have trauma. I'm not saying either of them. What I'm doing is showing you what is out there, what the truth is. And you can do whatever you'd like with it, because I did whatever I wanted to do with it. Started studying, started researching, and ended up where I'm at. And I think it's a pretty good spot. I don't know if you guys remember the Dark Knight. This happened around the same time. The Dark Knight shooting, where the Dark Knight, the movie, Batman, or whatever you want to call it, came out, and it was a midnight showing, and everybody was so happy. It was in Colorado, and a man went in, sat down. When the movie started, he walked out the exit, said he was on a call. So he walked out the exit, blocked the door from closing, went to his car, got geared up, and got his guns and everything, came back through the exit, and threw a tear gas, stood in the middle, right in the middle of the theater, by the screen, and visualized what he had to do, and killed these people right here in this
For the
screen.
people in the theater, Holmes was matter of fact as he described the theater massacre.
The guy who did it, for weeks, I think it was actually months from what I remember, because I'm only going back to this now because I remember that this woke me up, or it was part of what woke me up. And so, since somebody made a video, which you probably won't be able to find right now, and it showed me what is actually going on, I figured, well, I might as well make a video so I can show people what's really going on. But then I was like, nobody's gonna really believe it anymore. Nobody, because everything has become a joke. Everything's a joke now. So I told myself, well, I'm not gonna even make it. But then once this video came out with the two dads and the different names and the different times, and after a couple hours, you have all the info. You have this person's social media. I just wanted to give the info out. So this is the man who shot up that theater. I don't know if you guys remember it. He killed 12 people. This was one out of very few that got out alive. Usually they kill themselves or they get shot. Because I'll tell you guys in a sec.
From his point of view.
You're unloading the car, you're getting stuff ready. What's going through your mind?
Dr. William Reed is asking him questions. James Holmes. He's saying, just to get it done. What was going through your mind? Just to get it done. He knew he had to get it done. He just knew that he had to finish it. He wasn't thinking, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this. Why would I even want to kill this many people? Like, they're enjoying the movie. Maybe I should just sit down and enjoy the movie and not go out and... No, he was thinking just to get it done.
Just to get it done.
He faked a phone call to explain going out the exit door. Outside in his car, he calmly armed himself and suited up in body armor. Then he went back in to begin his murderous and methodical killing.
Heart pumping, adrenaline racing, no. Calm, keyed up. Calm and collected. Calm and collected.
He emptied his 6-round shotgun, then started firing his assault rifle.
I heard a scream. You heard a scream? Yeah. Did you see anyone fall from being hit? No. Really? They got down kind of behind the seats pretty fast. You didn't see anyone actually hit by bullets?
He didn't see anyone actually hit. He was literally a controlled robot, human robot in an atmosphere ready to do what he was programmed to do. He doesn't remember seeing these things.
Or shot. I saw the one wounded guy they carried out.
The psychiatrist asked Holmes to imagine what it was like for the people in the theater, his targets.
What do people feel when they're experiencing that? Terror, I would say. Okay.
He called what he did a mission, How did he want to be remembered?
As mentally ill.
How do you want to be remembered? He asked him. As mentally ill or different from the norm. What has been the last 10 years? What has been the argument for all these mass shootings? Oh, mentally ill, no background checks, we need gun control, mentally ill, mental health, mental. He said, what do you want to be remembered as? He has a script. These people have scripts. These people have diagrams, graphs, things that they have to do and get done in a certain way for a certain purpose.
We're different from the norm. How else?
How else?
Being successful with the mission.
I also want to be known. So to the world, to us, he wants to be known as mentally ill, different from the norm. Mental health was the problem. Something happened where he was just out of it in the head to the world. Now, to the people behind the scenes, actually controlling the narrative, actually controlling him, actually controlling the movements and how things are playing, he wants to be remembered as being successful with the mission. And I'll play it again so that you can actually hear it.
Want to be remembered.
As mentally ill or different from the norm. How else? Being successful with the mission.
He was asked about the
being successful with the mission. Where did that happen? Aurora, Colorado. That's where that one happened. You notice whenever it's a mass shooting like this, it's in a populated place. I wrote it down. Columbine, which was like the real big school shooting that happened in 1999. Population of Columbine at the time, it was only 25K. 25,000 people who lived in Columbine when that mass shooting happened at the high school, Columbine High School. I'm sure some of you have heard of it. It's an older one, so you probably didn't. But it was basically the initiation into the year 2000. It was like, this is what's coming now. This is what's about to start happening, is shootings like this. And for after Columbine, it's just been downhill. Everything has been mass shootings. It's been so many times. Newton, that was Sandy Hooks. Sandy Hooks was in Newton, Connecticut. The population in Newton, Connecticut was at that time 2,000 people. No kind of people. Nobody's gonna be going in and oh, let me go visit my grandma, let me go visit my grandpa. They live in Newton, Connecticut. Nobody's gonna go and ask questions over there. Nobody's gonna come out of there. I mean, it's a 2,000 people populated place, Newton, Connecticut, and you can look this up. This is all for anybody to look up. Oh, that's not it. What you saw on the other page was the whole county, the whole district. This is Newton, Connecticut. 2,000 people. 2000, 2013, to 2012 when it happened, Sandy Hook, 2,000 people was the population of that little town. What about even 25,000 people is nothing. Nothing at all. 15,000. 16,000. 16,000 people. You know how much 16,000 people is? Like, out of those 16,000 people, half are probably retired there. Half probably never even leave you while they are getting ready to, like, pass away soon. It's like the other half just works to get by and to like have their own little land in the middle of nowhere, because this place is in the middle of nowhere. Like Killeen, when it happened in Killeen, I should probably look it up. 1990. Killeen is in the middle of nowhere. Killeen in Texas is literally just a little town, and I can't imagine in 1990, but it's a little town, and it's like literally placed in the middle of nowhere, and you have everything that you need in that little town, but as soon as you leave that town, it's like desert for like 50 miles whichever way, and there's like a army base, or I think it was an Air Force base that's there. And I've been there. So I know what it feels like. It's horribly hot, and it's in the middle of nowhere. If you scream in that desert, nobody's gonna ever hear you because it's in the middle of nowhere. The population is so low. 1990 was when there was a mass shooting. A guy went into a restaurant. He like drove into a restaurant and killed like 20 something people, I think it was. Um, Killeen. I put 1991. 27 people were killed in this one. And then I think he committed suicide. So what's the general like the same thing that keeps happening? This is
Jars full of ammunition, jars.
This is the guy for the Aurora, for Aurora, Colorado, the Dark Knight, basically, when he went in to the theater.
24-year-old James Egan
this
Holmes
guy
was apparently gearing up for an action scene of his own. Police say he had with him a Smith & Wesson assault rifle, a Remington pump-action shotgun, and 2 Glock semi-automatic pistols. 12:39, this was the scene on the screen. Christian Bale acting opposite Michael Caine as Holmes came back through the emergency exit wearing a gas
ABC News again.
Witnesses say he
Look
threw
how
a
it
green
happened.
canister into the crowd, filling the theater with smoke.
Your eyes are burning, it makes you want to just close them, and then you can't breathe and just makes you want to cough.
As though reenacting a scene from a Dark Knight comic, witnesses say Holmes fired into the air and then started shooting into the crowd.
The first clear sign of it was when the guy that was sitting right next to me actually got shot in the chest.
And all the bullet casings kept falling on my forehead. They were like singeing my forehead.
At that moment, I just remember thinking, I'm not gonna die in here.
Really moving rounds. We have a lot of challenges to get in there safely.
Today, inside dozens of hospital rooms, survivors struggle to make sense of all this.
It was cold and calculated, definitely. It seemed
Calculated.
very methodical, just the rate at which he was firing and how he wasn't really moving position.
The rate that he was firing, and he wasn't really moving position, and it was calculated. That's how this guy explains it. Thankfully, he didn't die. He just got hit a couple of times, but he explains it as the guy. It was calculated. He knew what he was doing. He stood in one spot and shot at specific people in a specific timely manner. This is what this guy is saying.
He was just like unloading into.
This is a video that I watched when I was young that really got me thinking, wow, I can't believe how far it goes. You never really realize how far the demonic, evil spirits can go until you really start seeing things like this. This video, Lil Wayne, which is a demon in the flesh, he's a rapper. And rappers are puppets. They are completely made puppets. They will do anything for the money. They will give up their soul, and they will also do anything that you want them to do. They'll feel guilty about it for a day, a month, maybe a year or two. But after that guilt slowly starts to go away, their heart hardens and they don't care anymore. They don't care. All of these news stations, they don't care about these little kids at all. If they actually cared, they'd be there like really trying to figure out things and not putting things every 2 minutes and apologizing if they give you something wrong. These people don't care at all about you, and they believe that they themselves are what they should be caring about, and money, 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 money. This video is a music video called
Win at work
My
by
Homies
communicating
Still.
effectively with Grammarly. Grammarly helps.
This video came out 3 days before that shooting in Colorado, before the Dark Knight shooting in Colorado.
So divine, I'm west side, dark glass.
I'll go through the video.
Is on like I'm going blind. Look here.
This cage and dressed up like this means something. It's symbolic. I'm just gonna put it out there because if I don't, who will? You know? If I don't tell you guys, then who's gonna tell you guys? Because nobody really cares anymore. So you can either listen to what I have to say or just like click off now. When you're in a bird cage, it means that you're completely entrapped and you're fine with it. See how she's in a cage and she's moving around like, okay, I don't care, whatever, as long as she gets what she needs. The symbol of a bird cage means that whoever is playing with it, which is in this case Big Sean and Lil Wayne, they're fine with being entrapped and fine with doing the will of Satan. I'll say it right away and say it right off because it's just the truth.
Don't make my goons go stupid. Now they gone west, my niggas pumping so much. Tunchi, my feet hurt. Hot boy, free turk. Pussy fuck, got me in control.
Sorry.
Say these bitches ain't girl, she came with it. She addicted to what my dick. Go stupid. Yeah, go dumb. Look,
So they sing the chorus and then Lil Wayne jumps off and he stands right in the middle of the theater. This is a movie theater. You see the popcorn over here in the back. People are just having fun watching the movie. They're in a movie theater. 3 days. This video came out 3 days, and I'll show you after the video. 3 days before the shooting. Sorry about the bad word. Right here you see them jumping up and down. He's covering his ears. He's covering his ears. And I think somebody else covers their ears, but I didn't catch it in this one. As if something is really loud. Oh, I'm just going to put my hand over my ears for this music video that I'm shooting in a movie theater with all my homies in the background. I'm just going to cover my ears because something's really loud. This music is so loud that they're playing in the background, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I count 12 skeletons. Three days later, maybe it's not that one. It's this one. 3 days later, this guy walks into a movie theater, stands in the middle, calculates on who he has to shoot, stands there, doesn't really move, just just knows what he has to do and kills 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people in a movie theater. 3 days later. If you don't believe me, you can go look at it yourself. I'm not here to school you. And they cover their ears, 12 skeletons. Now, what is this? This is called predictive programming. It's not like they predict the future and they know what's going to happen. Wow, The Simpsons. No. It's they tell you what their plan is and they show you their vanity, what their vanity wants or what they would like. Then they execute it through a sacrifice, or they get someone like this man who what's his name? They get someone, promise them a couple of things, say you've had a hard life, it's fine, you can go down this road, we'll provide you with what you need, you give us what we want, and you can just end your life or have us end it for you with a cop or a detective or whatever when you're coming out of the movie theater. They set out the whole scenario for him or for them because all these school shooters have something in common. They set out the scenario, tell you what you have to do, when you have to do it, and how you should do it. And then they put you in this thing called MK Ultra, which maybe some of you know, some of you might not know. They put you into MK Ultra, brainwash you, completely brainwash you, like extreme brainwashing. And this is what happens when you get brainwashed, when MK Ultra to the extreme, you stay like this for years.
Call People versus James Holmes, 12 CR.
This is the guy This is the guy who shot all those people and killed 12 of them 3 days after Lil Wayne made a video with Big Sean in a movie theater covering his ears because something was really loud.
Please, you have a right to remain silent. If you make any statements that can be used against you, you have a right to be represented by an attorney. If you could not afford one amid statutory guidelines, I would appoint one to represent you.
He's supposed to be dead. Just so you guys know, this guy's supposed to be dead. He was supposed to either commit suicide, he probably just didn't hear the execution word, or he was supposed to get shot by the cops. He was supposed to go outside and start shooting and get shot himself, and so that he wouldn't be able to testify or say anything. He was not supposed to be in this courtroom. This was a mistake. He was supposed to die there in that movie theater. This was a mistake by whoever set him up. And they said, well, we got to go through with it. We can't just kill him right now. We got to go through with it. Let's see what happens. They put him in the courtroom. You got to go through the whole justice system as if they care, blah, blah, blah. And then this is him in the courtroom like, oh, you want me to go to jail? Okay. After extreme MK Ultra, brain destroying brainwashing.
Yourself, any plea you make must be voluntary, not the result of any undue influence or coercion. Typically, you have a right to be advised of the charges. You have a right to be advised of the charges. The duty judge has made a preliminary determination of probable cause to believe you're committed the offense of first-degree murder, which is a Class 1 felony under Colorado law.
He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know where he is. He can't remember his name. He doesn't know why he's thinking about all these things in his head that shouldn't be in his head. He doesn't understand how he even got in the courtroom from the movie theater. I wish I could explain it better.
Ordinarily, individuals are entitled to bail. Given the nature of the charges, you are currently being held on a no bond hold. You also have a right to have a jury trial and preliminary hearing to determine whether there's probable cause to believe that you're the person that committed the offense. I've just signed a mandatory protection order. If you tender a copy to Mr. Holmes and acknowledge his receipt on the record.
This was a man who had a troubled past. The higher-ups saw that he had a troubled past, said we can use him. Let's use him. They did. They got the sacrifice over with. They got the exact amount that they needed. And then they threw him under the bus and said, oh, well, too bad.
Thank you.
So what is it? What is it with these mass shootings, right? There's an agenda, obviously, going on. Above that agenda is a battle. That battle is good versus evil. Many people don't believe this for some reason. I guess they don't read their Bibles, most likely. But this world belongs to the evil right now. The world belongs to the evil. It was basically presented to Satan for the time being, but only through God's permission. And it is his world that he influences, that he contracts, and that he, what's that other word? He doesn't control. I don't want to say control, but he makes it how he views it should be. He hates you, he hates me. Satan hates the human. His sole purpose is to try and get everybody to kill themselves, because then they'll end up where he is. To get so miserable that you want to kill yourself. Once you get to the point where, yeah, I want to kill myself, I'm done. I'm done with this world. I hate my life. Everything's going wrong. Once you get to that point, he says, well, while you do it, while you go ahead and kill yourself, kill a couple more people for me. Go to this place and go over here and go over there and kill this many people. Obviously, Satan doesn't just come up to them and just starts talking to them with his shoulders like this and say, hey, yeah, kill yourself, but also kill these people for me while you're doing it. He doesn't do that. But he goes through higher influences, makes them have connections to whoever they need, like this guy. And then they come to him and offer him this, offer him that, and say, yeah, I think it is smart to kill yourself. You know, there's an afterlife. And when you come back, there's not an afterlife. When you come back and you reincarnate, we'll make sure that you're taken care of and you're going to remember, because we have a machine that will make you remember everything and you'll be fine. Just go ahead and do it. Kill this many people, shoot yourself, and we're good. It's part of it. It's a sacrifice. It's something that Satan has always done.